Hey guys, welcome back. Doing a little bit of maintenance on the old Defender XMR today. Went out to the glacier and had kind of a rough trip. And I ended up coming to a very abrupt stop on an ice ledge that I couldn't see, and it ended up canting my steering wheel to probably about like that. And you can see my tires here are straight. I didn't bend any tie rods. All the steering is equal. None of the wheels are towed in more than the other, so everything is running straight. There's no pulling. I just happened to hit this thing really hard, and I just think that it might have just bumped it out of alignment a little bit. So I was looking on the old YouTube and didn't really see anything on there on how to necessarily remove a steering wheel. I did find one video, and it was for a Polaris. I believe it was a Polaris Ranger, or a Razor, pardon me. And I decided to use their suggestion. And basically, you have this big old nut, and then you have a center cap on your Can-Am BRP, brother. You have a center cap, and what I did is I took my little flat-bladed screwdriver and just popped it up. The cap came out. Bam. And then obviously this nut was snugged down pretty tight. So it is a 5/16 socket, or the nut size, whatever you want to call it, is a 5/16. I did have to, oh shoot, did I lose my tool already? Oh, I'll tell you what. Dang, that sucks. Come on, guys. Alright, crisis averted. So I did have to use a little extension to get to it, and I just used a regular ratchet and bumped it loose. And what I did was I backed it out, so there was probably about 5 or 6 threads on there. And then I took my extension and my socket, and while putting forward pressure with my hand on the steering wheel, I tapped it. Not super hard, just hard enough. And I wouldn't want to put my hand in there, but it wouldn't break my hand, if that makes sense, as far as how hard I hit it. I didn't beat on it, and then I just bumped it with my hand, and it came loose. And just be mindful when you do have this thing tightened down. The steering wheel will only come out so far, so make sure that, and once it's loose, it's easy to pull out. Pull out, gross. So just be mindful of that. Don't be smashing on it, because you could already have the steering wheel loosened, and you're just forcing those threads to be damaged. So don't do that. And then what I did is I went ahead, and just to see, I might change the steering wheel someday. I just popped it off just to see what was inside, because it's my first side-by-side. Pretty simple. Let's see if I can get this thing to focus for you. Pretty simple. I'm not taking this thing off, because that would just lead to a box of worms I couldn't get to. I wiped it down, just cleaned it up a little bit before I did take off the steering wheel, and loosened everything up and made sure that my wheels were as straight as I could get them. I might have to do this 1 or 2 times, but I don't think it will be near as bad as it was. So after that, I'm trying not to say so much, sorry, I'm a bad speaker. Put the steering wheel back on. There it is again, son of a bitch. Put the steering wheel back on, and then just put the put the bolt back in, the nut, whatever you want to call it, torque it down. And I don't have a torque wrench. I just kind of based it off of how tight it was for me to loosen it. And that's what I'm going to go off of. So it might be a little bit over tightened, but it shouldn't make a huge deal. I don't think. So that being said, that's just kind of a look at how to take off the steering wheel on at least this model. This is a 21 Can-Am Defender Max XMR. I think they're all pretty close to the same. So it is... I've been out here for 10 minutes, and I don't even think 10 minutes, and this is a 6-minute video. So kind of gives you an idea about how long it takes to pop off the steering wheel, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. So I'm going to get to this, and then I'll pick you guys up after I get this thing torqued down, because I'm freehanding here. And we'll go from there. So we're back. I just got this thing torqued down. Wipe some of this stuff down while I'm here, while you guys can see that I take good care of my stuff. It would be easier if you had 2 people to tighten this thing back down, just for the fact that when you put this little guy in here, it wants to move the steering wheel, and it's tough to get the right amount of torque and hold the steering wheel at the same time while making sure the socket doesn't fall off the nut. Whatever. Sorry guys. Let's look at the underneath of the cap here. It does have little grooves for the teeth. Don't know if I'm going to get that to focus. There is some teeth. You can kind of see it right there. There's a couple of them around, so it is directional. Don't just go pounding it on. Make sure that they are in the correct spot. And then I guess I probably should just use the back of the nice screwdriver that's not super yep. And that's a look, guys. That's what I did. I just had a super small, it looks enormous right now, super small flathead, and just popped it in and it came right out. No major issues, and loosened it up. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, obviously I don't have a torque wrench or the specs for said torque wrench, or I would have done that. I'm not taking it into Can-Am for 3 months for them to align the steering wheel. I can just do that myself. I might throw in the tools just in case the steering wheel does come loose on me on the trail, just to be safe for the first ride, to make sure that I have it there. But I just paid attention to what I was doing when I loosened it and about how tight it was upon removal. So that's a look. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Like and subscribe if you want to, as always. If you don't want to, don't. And we'll catch you out on the trail.